the former #1 recruit in the 2022 class, were arrested Sunday night. Sheriff's deputies discovered a firearm in a vehicle he was driving. Now, they reserve judgment on this in a statement. There's way more to the story.
I want to make sure that we got the facts straight before we make this video, but anytime we make a video like this, it's truly a sad story because it involves an individual that had a chance at creating a remarkable life for himself and literally had his hands near generational wealth, and he may have just squandered it with a horrific decision or just horrible circumstances. You're gonna have to decide which one of those situations it is. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. We're doing NBA 2K23 giveaways on my Twitter account. All you have to do is make sure you're followed on Twitter. And now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, originally I would never wear or purchase jewelry because I thought it was the worst investment that you could ever make and it was so freaking expensive. Luckily, I found the GLDshop.com, which is a remarkable website where you could purchase your own affordable gold and jewelry. You can wear jewelry on a day-to-day basis without feeling like an idiot that spent thousands of dollars on gold that you could have gotten at a significantly better rate from GLD Shop. GLD was founded on the idea that everyone should be able to afford high quality jewelry pieces that deliver confidence and help you complete your look. It's made with real gold that's built to last, and their manufacturing process and attention to detail is the best in the game. That's why they offer a lifetime guarantee on all purchases. If there are any issues with your jewelry, GLD has you covered. Each piece of jewelry is custom designed by their team in Miami, and they have an unmatched weight and shine to them. And right now, GLD Shop is hooking up my subscribers fat with 33% off when you go to thegldshop.com/FlightMike and enter my promo code FlightMike. Or just go to the description down below, click the link in the description down below, place your order, and enter my promo code FlightMike for 33% off. And thank you, GLD Shop, for today's sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? This year's NBA draft is one of the most exciting NBA drafts that we've seen in quite some time. We even have scouts and analysts calling the potential #1 overall pick, Victor Wembanyama, the greatest basketball prospect since LeBron James. And clearly, analysts don't say this about prospects very often. I mean, it's not like we heard this about Anthony Davis or Zion Williamson. You get what I'm trying to say here. As a matter of fact, this year's NBA draft seems to be so promising that you literally have teams like the Utah Jazz completely blowing everything up on their roster and deciding, hey, it might be time for a rebuild. But the thing about this year's NBA draft isn't just the fact that the top pick looks so promising and is oozing with potential, it's the fact that it seems to be very deep. The player behind Victor Wembanyama is Scoot Henderson, who seems to be a very promising player as well. You have players like Brandon Miller and Nick Smith. And bear in mind, I'm telling you all this before the season even started. I'm sure once the actual college basketball season starts, things are going to be a lot different. Well, a player that was projected to get drafted in the 2023 NBA draft is an individual by the name of Imani Bates. Now, if you don't know who Imani Bates is, he has a very unique story. So while Imani Bates was in high school, he was classified in the 2022 recruiting class, which he was the top prospect in, the absolute best high school basketball player in the entire 2022 recruiting class. Now, ultimately, he would reclassify to 2021, and upon reclassification, he was still a top 5 recruit depending on who you're asking. ESPN ranked him as the #3 overall recruit, Rivals ranked him as #4, and 24/7 Sports ranked him as #5. Either way, this is an individual that was oozing with potential that decided to try to enter college a little bit sooner so he could get to the promised land of the NBA that much faster. And ultimately, he decided to commit to the University of Memphis to play for Penny Hardaway. His first season with the Memphis Tigers wasn't necessarily what he had hoped, with 18 games played played, shooting 39% from the field, 33% from three, and averaging 9.7 points per game. Imani recently decided to transfer to Eastern Michigan University, citing a desire to be closer to home. And that's honestly the last thing we've really heard about him. A make or break season for him in terms of his career and in terms of his draft stock. And it seems like, unfortunately, whether he was a victim of circumstance or actually did something stupid, his draft stock is going to take a really serious hit, because now this former top 5 prospect found himself behind bars for a brief period of time because he was arrested on gun charges. So ironically, it's 24/7 Sports that is breaking this story, saying that deputies pulled Imani Bates over on Sunday night after he did not stop at an intersection. The county sheriff's office said a firearm was discovered during a search and authorities took Bates into custody, the sheriff's office said. Bates is charged with 2 felonies, carrying a concealed weapon and altering ID marks on a weapon. So pretty much what happened was Imani Bates was, I guess you could say, driving recklessly or just broke one of the driving rules in the state that he was in, and then a cop decided to pull him over. When the cop pulled him over, he not only saw a gun, but he saw a gun with an altered ID mark on it, which is also illegal. So what Imani Bates' defense is saying is that he was driving a borrowed car that he had a gun in. So what his defense is also saying is reserve judgment on this because there's way more to this story. He borrowed someone's car, was pulled over, and a gun was located in the car. As a result of this, Imani Bates would find himself in jail. So Imani Bates is out of county jail on a personal bond. He appeared in court for arraignment on Monday via Zoom after being arrested Sunday on 2 felony gun charges stemming from a traffic stop in Superior Charter Township, Michigan. And this is where it gets really bad. I mean, this is where this young man's entire life trajectory could be altered tremendously, because Eastern Michigan announced on Monday afternoon that Bates is quote unquote suspended automatically from practice and playing privileges until the legal process is resolved. So far, his lawyer Steve Haney entered a not guilty plea on his behalf, and he has a hearing for probable cause on October 6th at 9 a.m. So the magistrate said in response to what his lawyer is claiming, the magistrate disagrees that there's no threat with this at all, saying, I disagree that there's no threat. The nature of these particular charges are inherently dangerous, and that's why we have laws. It's really difficult to tell what actually happened. It's tough to tell whether or not Imani has a remarkable alibi or that he was actually up to something here. Either way, you could throw all of that aside, whether he was a victim of really bad circumstances, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's assuming that he had no idea the situation he was putting himself in, or if he was really up to something sketchy. Regardless, just take yourself out of the situation for a minute and realize that Imani Bates isn't going to have the opportunity to play basketball on time this year. I mean, he's suspended from practice from the team until maybe some point after October 6th. That's assuming the hearing goes very well for him. If it does, then there's really nothing to worry, because at that point, the very first exhibition game that takes place for Eastern Michigan, which is the team that he transferred to, is against Grand Valley on October 27th. And the very first real basketball game of the season that actually counts towards their record takes place on November 7th. Hopefully he could get all of this sifted out and sorted out within the next couple of weeks, and then return to his team and get prepared for probably the most important season for his entire life. I mean, if you look at mock drafts currently, and these are way too early mock drafts, Imani Bates is projected to go number 13 overall. Now, bear in mind, this is before any of the charges came out against him, and I'm assuming this is a team that would draft him based off of potential alone. So hopefully he could get it together, and hopefully things go well for him. Either way, it's a tough situation to be in, whether it was a situation where he found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, or if he was up to something sketchy. It's still a very difficult situation. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.